So the body had been prepped, primed, and painted in its orange color. I let it dry for a couple of hours and then moved on to masking it off in order to paint the secondary color on the roof. So after masking, I moved on to the spray booth, put my spray mask on from a 3M, and also put on a protective glove on my hand. And then I mixed up the gunmetal paint, poured it in the airbrush, and started painting the roof in its first light coat. The first light coat was applied. I let it sit and dry for about 5 minutes and moved on to applying the second coat. And after applying that second coat, it was fully covered and I could start gently removing all the masking tape. There were a couple of vents on the hood. These were masked and painted simultaneously with the roof, so these could be unmasked as well. After painting and unmasking these parts, I let them sit for about 15 minutes to dry off and moved on to the next task. That was masking the side off again in order to paint the window trim around the side in a glossy black. Now I'm just going to paint it jet black first and then with the clear coat make it glossy. Once both sides were masked off, I put it on the Tamiya spray stand and made a big shield with some masking tape in order to prevent some overspray from getting on the rest of the body. The jet black was stirred up, poured in the airbrush, and I started applying a couple of thin coats on those window moldings. After applying a couple of thin coats and achieving full coverage, I gently removed the masking tape to reveal the painted moldings. I then set the body aside for about 60 minutes, cleaned out the airbrush and moved it downstairs back into the hobby room, and then started on making some templates and applying some of the carbon fiber decals to various bits and pieces. Now firstly, I made some templates with some tape from those vents in the hood, cut them out and transferred that to the decals, and then applied the decals to those vents using some decal magic from Skilled Motorsports. If you are not familiar with decal magic, you probably are familiar with decal set and sol. Now this is pretty much decal set and sol in one. You apply it underneath the decal and it helps form the decal a lot better to the shape you are trying to do. Now you can either just set it in a dehydrator or either use a hairdryer like I'm doing to speed up the process and form the decal to the desired shape. Now if you're not happy with the form that it took after the first application, don't worry, just go over it once more with the decal magic, use some heat, and keep on going until you're happy. And the next step will be the roof. So first I created a template with some masking tape again, transferred it to the decal sheet, and then applied the decal to the roof, again using the decal magic and some heat from a hair dryer, and also using some Q-tips and gently using my fingers to put it all nicely into place and shape. So while I was still applying those carbon fiber decals, I thought I'd just move on to doing the diffuser, the rear spoiler, and the side mirrors as well. I did those off camera as it's pretty much basically the same procedure as I did here, just takes a bit more time and a bit more finessing around, but it's pretty easy to do yourself once you get to know your decals and know what you're doing. So just try, don't be afraid to fail, and start over again if it doesn't really work out.